Have you heard that advice? If you get a lot of refund back, a substantial amount of refund back, you should adjust your withholdings so you can keep more of your money every paycheck. I completely disagree. You know why? Because it's painful to owe taxes. It's happened to me once, never again. Do you know how painful it is that every paycheck, the government takes out taxes? Every paycheck. You go to the grocery store, they take out taxes. You buy anything, you pay taxes. And then at the beginning of the year, you're like, all right, we're getting paid. Money's coming in, only to hear you owe $4,000. Do you know how painful it is? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it would never happen. So I would rather have the government take what they need so that I don't owe, because I'll get it back. It's simple math. I'm going to file my taxes. You take what you say I owe you, and you give me my money back. So I see it as a risk-free way to save. I just make sure I have a good plan on how I'm going to use that tax refund, because I know it's not free money. And supposedly the refund this year is going to be a lot lower than previous years. So let me give you 25 smart, great, best way to use your tax refund. We'll break this down into 3 categories. We're going to first discuss what you do not want to do with your tax refund. And then we'll discuss ways you can spend it so that it keeps giving. And then we'll discuss, some other ideas on how you can spend your money. All right, let's start off with what you do not want to do with your tax refund. First of all, you do not want to get an advance on your tax refund. Ma'am, sir, you have lived for 12 months without this money. You can survive for another 3 weeks without it. Okay, if you do a direct deposit for the tax refund, you'll get it within less than 3 weeks. I think a week and a half, especially if it's a straight cut tax refund and you're not trying to play games. We all know. When you do a tax refund, chances are you will get less than the amount you would get, because one, you're paying fees on it, processing fees, advance fee. Why? Don't get cheated. That's your money. Someone is taking your money. All right. The second thing you do not want to do with this tax refund is spread it thin. Here you go, wanting to do 10 different things with this money. You want to do this. Stop it. You only want to do a few things, just a couple things, because that's the only way you would feel like it's actually come in handy. It's had a bigger impact, because you can actually see the tangible difference it has made. Third, we've already discussed this. You need to have a plan. Even if your plan is everything is going to savings, you have to have a plan. It can't just be, oh, I have extra money in my checking account. And now, just having that mindset of, oh, we have extra money will immediately increase your monthly spending. I can't give you the science. I can't give you the study. I just know based on experience. Once you feel like we're rich, we have money, money's not an issue. Because you've got to like a few thousand, then somehow you just end up spending more. Now you're on Amazon every single minute because we have money. You need to have a plan. Now let's talk about how you can use this tax refund in a way that it keeps giving. So all year round, even though you got the tax refund just once, all year round you can feel like you have extra money. The very first thing you can do is what I've discussed doing is you can split this money up. Maybe do a 50-50 or a 60-40 split or 70-30 split, whatever split you want to do. But take the less of the two for something fun. Happy Labor Day to you. You work for that money. This is your way of treating yourself for the hard work done. And it also scratches that itch of, we got money in and let's do something we haven't done before, or something we haven't done in a while. And then the bigger chunk, the bigger half, you use towards something responsible. Savings. You put this money towards your savings. If you do not have a month's worth of living expenses saved, or 1 month's paycheck, if you don't have that, honey, this money should be going straight to savings. Period. There are no two sides to the story. Savings immediately. Not even your credit card. Not even savings. Straight up. Because should anything happen, you need this money. And if you have less than 3 months worth of expenses, savings. Use this money to get a month ahead of your bills. Use this money to pay your rent, so you're a month ahead. Use this money to pay your mortgage, so you're a month ahead, or just all of your bills, so you're a month ahead. The benefit of being a month ahead of your bills is that budgeting is a lot easier, because you're not budgeting with the money you're expecting to come in. You already have the money for the month and you work accordingly. And just having this as the buffer in your checking account because you're a month ahead is amazing. All right, let's move on to the next line. Pay off your highest credit card, your highest interest rate. Pay off the credit card with the highest interest rate. Getting rid of that big minimum payment you have to pay every month is a relief every single month. If you no longer have to pay that $125 or that $200 every month, that is $200 you get to keep every single month. This is not the year to have a credit card with high interest that you're carrying balance on. So you want to go ahead and pay that down, pay that off. Paying down debt is always a smart way to go. It may not pay all of it, but at least it's going to shave off a good amount of the balance and speed up how long it takes you to pay up the debt. And that's a good way to have the money keep giving back to you, because eventually you're paying it up faster, and you get to keep a lot more of your money once your debt is paid off. A good way to do this, if you're feeling like, well, that's so boring. I do this every month. I'm trying to pay off my debt every month and it's so boring. Why can I get a break? That's where the split comes in. You do a 90-10 split, or 80%, 20%. Use the 20% to treat yourself to something, and then use the 80% to pay off the debt. If you have a mortgage, make an extra payment. Just paying one extra payment every year shaves up years from your mortgage payment plan when you think of how much you're saving on interest. I'll link a video in the description box below. It's not even my video, but this guy, I can't remember his name. He's into business finance. He did an Excel worksheet where he showed the difference between making an extra $100 every month on your mortgage, an extra $250, and then just one extra payment every year. Big difference. I'll link that video below because I think it's a wonderful video and it will save you a lot of years and a lot of money. If you're behind on your retirement savings, you weren't putting in money, you haven't been putting in money, or you didn't start off early, this is a good way to buy back time, because you're going to put in a big chunk and that will hopefully buy you back some time. So consider depositing money, or consider putting money into your retirement account. Your tax refund is a good seed money. If you've been looking at starting a business, starting a side hustle, you have money to get started. You have money to buy whatever you need to buy. If you're looking at content creation, you can buy a better phone that has a good camera, or you can buy a good camera. Cameras are not cheap. And sometimes you can't justify spending on it with your monthly budget. This is a good way to invest in yourself, invest in that business, whatever it is. This is a good seed money for that side hustle. This next part, I really don't want to say, but I have to say because it's a responsible thing to say. But honestly, I'm going to give you my caveat with this next part. Invest. Invest the money. You know, I'm rolling my eye with invest the money because sometimes I feel like investing has become it's like everything is going to the stock market. And it's like that's the one basket. We're not putting everything in one basket. You know, your 401k, your children's tuition, your extra money, it's all in stock market. And I'm not too comfortable with that. So if you invest in every single month, you're already investing and all that. Isn't there something else you can use the money for? Right? I mean, it's up to you. Obviously, you know what your financial goal is. I'm just saying, think about that. But if you're not investing, if you haven't been investing, you didn't start investing like some of us, and you've lost some time, this is a good way to get some money to do that, because at the end of the day, investing does work. That's a good way to build wealth. So go ahead and put that money towards it. Go ahead and invest. With that said, this is also a good way to get started with your kids' tuition fund. The 529, there's been an update. So starting this year, if you put money into the 529, I think about 20,000 of that, don't quote me on that, you can research that. But whatever is left over, whatever is not used, a good portion of that can go towards your retirement. Look that up. Maybe I will do a different video. This next two ways to use the refund, I think is probably one of my favorite. 48% of Americans use credit card for their living expenses, which means even if you pay down the credit card, if your money is not enough, you're still going to be using that credit card. So if you're in that position where the month runs out before your money, actually, no, that's good. If you're in a position where your money runs out before the month, use this refund as your cushion, especially for groceries. Dang it, groceries are so high. Middle class is dealing with, food money being tight. This is not even a low income issue. This is a income not enough issue. And if that's your situation, this is a perfect time. Do not be tempted to use this refund for, anything else. Use this money as your buffer every month, especially for groceries, especially for food, especially if you have kids, so that those months where the month is running out, the money is running out, this is where you grab some money for groceries. A great way to use your tax refund without really using your tax refund is to use your well moisturized finger to hit that like button for me. It tells YouTube, this girl is saying something and more people need to hear this something. So go ahead and share it. That is what you can do for me. And it would also bless you because you have helped somebody. Thank you. Another way to have this money keep giving back even after the year is done, it will forever give back to you, is to use this money to improve yourself. This is the way to pay for those certifications. Listen, true story based on experience, I can tell you, you can greatly change your life when you get the appropriate certification that can move you from making this amount of money to that amount of money. I just watched a video this afternoon of a 24-year-old making 174,000. that was personal, that hit me. 24-year-old making $174,000. I'm like, what? It's all about the education. It may be painful to be putting that much money to a certification, but think of your future paycheck. Think of the money you will be getting 3 years from now. If you're expecting a high medical expense this year, if it's looking like you're going to be spending a lot of money, like some of us, my 10-year-old is going to need braces, so yes, money is going to be going out. This is a good way to take some money out and put aside for medical expenses. Put it in a health savings account or flexible savings account. We don't have either one. For my family, really, what we do is we just take some aside for fun, and the rest goes into savings. That's what we do every single year. With this year, I mean, it's going into savings, but really, it's going into the down payment for the house plan. But if you're expecting high medical expense this year, then keep that in mind, and put some money aside for those expenses. You know that sound you keep hearing in your car, but you keep turning up the volume of the music and it's not loud enough, so you're like, well, it's time to get it checked out. Now you have money to have it checked out. Or if you live in an area where you have high snow, this is your snow tire money. It may not be for this year because winter has already started, but put that aside for next year so you can change your tires. This is the one benefit of marriage because hubby handles it. But before marriage, when there's a noise in the car, if it's not loud enough, then it's not serious. I have all the priorities. I have all the things calling my attention. So if you're not loud enough, you don't need me that badly. So when the car, until it breaks down, love it is not doing anything. Same thing with repairs in the house. This is a good way to do whatever repairs that needs to be done in the house. That water that's been, the low pressure, get that fixed. Now, do not go around the house looking for something to fix. If you need that fixing, you would have seen it before now. This is a good way to take care of that, especially buying new furniture. If your furniture is running down, you spend most of your time at home. Make your house look good. If your house looks good, you're not going to feel the need to leave all the time and go spend money outside. Make your house look good. So change your furniture. If you've been sleeping on your bed for, how long have I had my bed? Listen, if you don't have a good bed, you need a good mattress. We're getting older. These bones are not, teenage bones. Your bones can handle any kind of bed. Some of you are having a miserable life because you're mad all the time, because your body's in pain. Change your mattress. Get a good mattress. Don't let them fool you into buying some mess up. Get a good mattress. Some of these things are, minor things, but these are things that we may not justify spending money for throughout the year because we have financial goals and this doesn't seem like priority. But this is a good way to do it without making so much of a dent in your monthly income. Okay, moving on to other ways you can use this money. It may not be giving back, but it's a good way to use this refund. Mamas, parents, daddies, birthday funds. We have our financial goals, but birthdays happen. And we do not want the kids to feel like, oh my gosh, I want this and I can't get it. This is a good way to put money aside for their birthdays, the birthday gifts, or whatever it is you're going to have this birthday. Christmas fund. This is also a good way to put money aside for Christmas because between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it feels like money is just leaving your pocket, Even though it makes sense to do these things, it's just having to do them all at the same time within that 3 month span between 1 month span between Thanksgiving and Christmas just feels like a lot. So this is a good way to put some money aside, call it a Christmas fund, and just don't touch it, put it aside so that come Christmas, you can be happy, you can give happily, and you can give the kids and whoever else you're giving it so it doesn't hurt so much come the time of the Lord where you're supposed to be cheerful. Date night fund. This is a fun way to use your tax refund, especially if you couples are on a financial journey. You're really trying to pay off your debt and you focus on that. Well, paying off your debt is great, but we also don't want you to have to split your income because now you have a divorce. So your relationship is important. This is a good way to put some money out for date night so that you're not spending every day night just watching a movie and eating popcorn. Now you can actually pay to do something outside the house and not feel like you're wasting because you're not on the beans and rice and beans that you're supposed to be on. Mamas, I don't know why I'm saying mamas, parents, summer fund, summer camps, summer membership, the pool, those things, depending on how many kids you have, it can get expensive. This is a good way to put some money out for the summer to buy bikes. The kids are growing. New bikes, new helmets, because their heads are growing too. And my family, we all have big heads in my house. So, we need to buy new helmets, new skating shoes or whatever it is, Heelys, all that stuff. This is a good way to put some money aside because when you have to buy all of that, during the summer. It feels like it's a lot of money, but you have to keep the kids busy. How else are you going to do that? The money has to be spent one way or the other. So this is a good way to put some money aside for the summer because it is expensive. I don't need to explain to you how this gives back. I don't need to. It gives back. If you are like us, if you're one of us crazy people that have to buy a house in this crazy housing market, then put this money towards your down payment because with the high interest, you're going to need to put a good amount of money down to reduce that mortgage payment. If you don't need this money for anything or you're very content with what you have, you really don't need the extra money, consider giving this money. Consider maybe sponsoring a child for summer camp, buying grocery gift cards and giving it to people who you believe need it. Don't let their parents fool you. Just consider a way to bless someone else with the money. With that in mind, also remember your church does a lot of programs. Your church does a lot of activity. So consider putting some money towards that in addition to your offering. If you're one of those who gives offering, if you don't give offering, this is a good way to give some money back, so that they can put that towards the events they do around the community. Back to school funds. This is a good way to put some money aside for back to school, your school supplies, your backpacks, the clothes, all that adds up. I have 3 kids. It all adds up. This is a good way to put some money aside for that too. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.